and it's almost 8 years later, 7 years later, and now you are back. You got a new album out, and
Yes, sir.
now, because we've been playing I Get By, and I go through the album. How do you, and I said this before, maybe this lays, I was worried about saying this to you because I thought it might be a little too intense, but it's like I felt a long time ago when you go through your albums, you're like right there to be the Bob Dylan songwriter for this generation. That's a pretty heavy thing, but you can tell the tale of everybody, and everybody can identify with it.
It's working. There we go. My rule is songwriting is basically, I mean, the goal of writing a song is just to find like the common denominator that everybody's makes you go, me too. You know, oh yeah, me too. I get it. You know, I come from a long line of hardworking union cats. You know what I mean? And you could give me $100 million, I'm still going, you know, have a live better work union sticker on my car. You know what I mean? It's just, I just come from that cut of wood. You know.
Now, do you find it? Do you have a different perspective because you'll tend to come in, you put out an album, a lot of people identify with it, and then you kind of jump out. And I saw an interview once where you're like, yeah, I do this, and then when I need to not do this, I just don't do it.
Yeah, you know, you got to live your life too. You know, I mean, I love making music, and thanks to fine folk like yourself, it provides me a real good living. So sometimes you just got to step back. I think one of the reasons I can tell stories is I go out and I live life. You know what I mean? I still go to Ralph's every day. You know what I mean?
Now, do you, tell me if this story's not true, but do you still carry an axe handle around ever? I heard once that you walk around carrying an axe handle.
No, that's not true, dude.
See, that kind of ruins it. I thought maybe he'll bring his axe handle.
There may have been times when I had an axe handle in my hand and somebody's telling a story that I carried it around, but they're probably the ones that were going to get hit with it. That's why they're telling the story like that.
Yeah, that's where I heard it was from some people who actually did get hit with it.
I don't know about any of that, but I've bought a few cars in my day for strangers.
Now, how was it coming up with a House of Pain and then going solo with? Did it give you a better perspective when you had a heart attack? You go, you know what? Time's limited.
Well, I mean, I didn't really have a heart attack. I had a heart attack as a result of a torn valve from a birth defect. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, but I mean, I don't ever, you know, even when I got to the hospital, the doctors were like, all right, how much cocaine did you do? And I mean, I've had a heart condition all my life, so that's never been my choice of vice. But that just, you know what I mean? This album is kind of about reflecting on the Whitey 4 record, and then I had my whole surgery, almost died, came out. I was real grateful to be alive, and I was real, the world is brand new, and oh my God, and all the miracles and all this kind of, you know, freaking magnets, how do they work? You know what I mean? But some of y'all got it. So like, and then I found myself 10, 12 years later, like just back in the grind of life, you don't really even remember it's normal again, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like that didn't happen. So I got to thinking like, yo, I'm not as grateful as I used to be. And then I got to looking at the people around me, and I found even the people that were grateful probably weren't as grateful as there should be. And that's kind of where the title of the album came from, is Songs of the Ungrateful Living is all of us.
There's a line in Won't Be Long that I've sent to probably every friend of mine that has kids, where it's talk about teach your children to be kind, because they'll be running shit when you're old, deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yeah.
And I look around at all these, when parents have kids and you want to squeeze like a lemon in their eye, because they're not, you're like at Denny's going, hey, can you get your kid out of my hair? Like, get him, be a parent. And I think about that, and I was like, yeah, teach your kids. Not that anybody's going to listen.
All right. But you know, you got to be kind to that kid too. Takes a village, man.
I'd give him some Starburst after he's crying, after I squeeze the lemon.
Plus, you know, he might wind up running shit and remember you.
I know. That's what scares the holy hell out of me. Yeah. That's why I'm going to go get an axe handle. Now, I want everybody to get the new album, because people talk about when songs come out nowadays that they don't really have anything to say. Like, people are pissed off, or they just, you listen to it and you go, what the hell are they talking about? And you actually, your albums and your music take people places. And is it hard for you to balance? Because this album seems like it could be in about 8 different categories. I know how everybody likes to categorize music, but it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Well, I mean, my whole thing is I spent half my life as a just a straight, like, you know, MC, hip hop artist, digging through mounds of records of every genre to try and find this much of it to steal and make my own thing out of, you know, making beats and producing records and whatnot with the crew. And then I think when we made the Whitey Ford record, I just kind of looked at myself as an ambassador in the reverse. Like, I'm gonna take hip hop and I'm gonna bring it to all these other forms of music. Like, if I'm singing a ballad, in my mind, I'm a hip hop artist. You know what I mean? Honest to God. I mean, I know this is a rock festival, you know, but I'm bringing hip hop in my way to rock. You know what I mean? And to country and to blues and jazz. And if polka strikes me as a fun thing to do, I'm gonna do that someday too.
Now
you know?
I challenge you to put out a polka album.
I don't know if you could pull off a whole album, but maybe a song.
I'll take a song.
You know.
Thank you for being up here today. Thank you for coming out and
My pleasure, man.
being part of the show.
Thank y'all.
You
Thank
guys
y'all
give
for
it up.
coming in.
Everlast.
4:30. We're gonna make it happen.